A school in Utah allowed parents to opt their children out of Black History Month. And that's when a lot of people's bias really showed up. It's no secret that everyone has bias. You can watch my other video. Don't worry, you're probably not a racist if you want to learn more. It's part of being human. A little backstory is in order here. It came to light that the director of a charter school, Maria Montessori Academy in Ogden, Utah, sent out a letter to families to inform them that they were allowed to, quote, exercise their civil rights to not participate in Black History Month at the school. It should be noted that learning Black history is not a violation of one's civil rights. The school director, Micah Hirokawa, said he reluctantly sent the letter out. The school's board, not to be confused with the district or state school board, declined to comment. Reading between the lines, I'm going to assume that Mr. Hirokawa didn't want to send this letter out, that instead a racist parent talked to a friend who sits on the board and that person decided that doing something racist was an appropriate course of action. Mr. Hirokawa, whose great-grandparents were sent to Japanese internment camps, said, "We should not shield our children from the history of our nation, the mistreatment of its African-American citizens, and the bravery of civil rights leaders, but should educate them about it." Of course, when this all came to light, and why they thought it wouldn't is beyond me, the school reversed course. I posted about this incident on Facebook and asked a question. So does this mean Black students can opt out of the sanitized lost cause curriculum? I later noted that the Utah State Board of Education stated no student can be waived from state social studies standards, which includes a focus on U.S. history, inequality, and race relations. When I posted this article, things got interesting. This is the point of the video. Not only on my Facebook page, but on other pages as well, and across social media, people started going after members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. Full disclosure, I am one. In particular, one lady, an African American, stated that it's Utah, Mormon country. Surely you're not surprised. It's not like I wasn't expecting that, but it's what followed that truly caught my attention. Another person came to the defense and questioned the first person's bias of labeling all Latter-day Saints as racist, and why they would even assume that the families in question were even Latter-day Saints. She was quickly shot down because when you attack someone's ignorance, they're going to double down on stupid. And that's exactly what happened. And the defense tactic of, you choose to read too much into it, and that's not what I said, came out. Now again, I noted that this was an African-American woman, and why is this important? Because it shows that everyone has bias. Knowing that openly responding to her on Facebook would cause her to continue a defensive posture, I decided instead to use what I call intellectual nonviolence. Sure, I can go to guns, but what would that prove? So I sent her a DM and outlined my points as to why it was offensive. Remember, just because you don't think it's offensive doesn't mean it's not offensive. You don't get to punch somebody and decide if it hurts the other person or not. Here's what I said. I say this with all love and sincerity. I don't think you intended to be offensive, but words have meaning. By saying that it's Mormon country, it implies means all, especially to us Latter-day Saints. The counter-argument that if you choose to read into it, that's all you, is the same argument people who say something offensive against a marginalized group says, intended or not. But let's be clear, it's offensive to stereotype a group of people. Your interactions, as you cited, are unfortunate, but that doesn't define a whole state or religion. I hear the same thing from white people who talk about Hispanics, blacks, etc. She replied with kindness and grace. Obviously, this could have gone a lot differently. She still could have been defensive, but that would have been on her, not me. Now, and I can't emphasize this enough, it's plain stupid and racist to think you can opt out of a history you don't feel comfortable about merely because it's someone else's and not yours. And also, Black History Month is not about white people. It's not about black people suffering under white people. It's about achievement. And if your bias is getting in the way of seeing that, then you might want to check on it. This has been Locked In with Loki.